Okay, so we're starting with h of t equals negative 4 cos pi over 12t plus 5. And so the time to complete one rotation is actually the period. So remember that the period is really 2 pi over b. So in this case, 2 pi over 12, so or 24 seconds. Okay, the next is we're going to find the time to be 7 meters above the ground on this Ferris wheel. This is actually a really easy one to solve graphically, and normally you would do that, but since we've learned just about multiple angles, we're going to give this a try solving it algebraically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it equal to 7. And if I subtract 5 from both sides, I get 2, and divide that by negative 4, we get 1/2 equals cos pi over 12t. Okay, so this is a fairly simple one to solve on our unit circle. We're finding the overness at negative 1/2. But before we do that, we're going to see how much we're dealing with. Now they said that we're going from 0 to 60 seconds, or 1 minute. Okay, that's our time constraint. So we're going to take this input into the cos function and see what that looks like for our solution. How many solutions are we dealing with? Okay, so if I'm multiplying by pi over 12 here, then I'm going to multiply by pi over 12 here. So that means that we're actually going, for our input of pi over 12 of t, we're going to 5 pi. Okay, so normally we would have 2 solutions from 0 to 2 pi. So in this case, we're going to have 2.5 that. I'll make a quick little sketch. Here's our cos graph. There's 2 pi, 4 pi, and then 5 pi is there at the bottom. Okay, and we're going to negative 1/2. So you can see there in my sketch that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 solutions. Okay, so that means that when we solve this, we're going to make sure that we have, at the very end, we're going to make sure we have 5 solutions. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that pi over 12t is, and I'm just going to solve this, cos has an overness of negative 1/2 at 2 spots. Okay, at 2 pi over 3, or 120 degrees, and at 4 pi over 3. Okay, those are our 2 answers, and we know we're going to eventually have 5, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find out what the answers are, and then because I know my period is 24, I'm just going to add 24 to the 2 sets of answers. So if I divide this both sides by pi over 12, the pi's will cancel, and this will be 24 over 3 and 48 over 3. Those are our first 2 solutions. In other words, this is 8 and 16. So those represent seconds. Okay, so t equals 8 seconds, 16 seconds, and now I need to have 5 solutions altogether because of this little graph is telling me that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add 24 to this one. I'm going to add 24 to this one. And then I'm going to add 24 to this one to get my final solution. So there, I have the 5 solutions, represented roughly by this graph here, that it would take to be 7 meters above the ground. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Review it, back it up, watch it a few times, see if it makes sense, and then practice this.